AEW Dynamite took place from Champaign, Illinois, and I have to say, Chris Jericho really used that a lot tonight, and I think he's one of the biggest reasons why the ratings are down. He's old, he's fat, he's 50 years old, and he has a fucking giant beer belly. He's old, his matches are good, just his inner circle is not getting over, it's just not working. I think he's one of the biggest reasons why the ratings are down right now, and I think that's just the truth. I'm a fan of Jericho, I've always have been, but I think it's best for him to lose the belt and eventually give that title to someone else, a younger guy. Maybe it's an MJF, maybe it's Cody. Maybe it's Moxley or Kenny Omega would be a better choice, but I think it's best for him to lose the belt. He's too old, and it's just not working much. So you had the opening match. You had the Young Bucks teaming up with Dustin Rhodes to take on Inner Circle. It was a fun opener. It was enjoyable. Young Bucks were a good opener match show. It's just Dave. I don't know. It seems like they're insistent on losing because they don't want people to think that they're putting themselves over. That's why I think it's going on with them and Kenny Omega and with Cody to an extent. I think they all have power backstage, and they don't want to put themselves over as the top guys because then it's going to look like they're booking themselves to win, kind of like Triple H or someone. That's how I think what's going on. But anyway, it was a good opener. Had a cool ending. Had Dustin and Matt set up two of Santana Ortiz, I believe, up for the Melted Rebel. He had Sammy Guevara on the ground, and then Nick goes for a drop kick, and he hits them both, and they both get out. And when he falls on the drop kick, he falls backwards onto Guevara, and he gets the win. So Nick gets the 3 count. Good opener. I enjoyed it. Next, he had Trent versus Phoenix. Good matchup, too. Phoenix is very good. It's not like big names. This is the kind of match that you lose fans. And this is this type of thing where people tune out to NXT. And NXT beat them. They beat them 2 weeks in a row now. I think it's over. I think NXT is going to take control. And this is not good for AEW. I think what happened was, this is similar to WWF and WCW, but to a far lesser extent. WCW owned WWF for 2 years, and AEW had NXT's number only for a few weeks, but for 2 years, once WWF took control, it was never flipped back. It was over. Once they took control of their opponents, they were going to win. I think that's what's happening. I think NXT's hot as hell right now. They had that great takeover show, and they had some really good shows. It's the better show. The wrestling's a lot better. I think NXT's in control now. They're in command of AEW. I'm not too high on the future of AEW, to be honest. Anyway, Phoenix beat Trent. Then we come back. They say Tony Schiavone is going to interview Cody Rhodes. Cody has this big elaborate entrance he has to have every fucking week where he comes from up under the stage. He says every goddamn week. I'm so sick of this guy making himself as like this major deal. Like, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, he comes out, and Schiavone interviews him, and what I hated was I hated the segment. I'll be honest. I fucking hated it. Cody last week was beat. He got the shit kicked out of him from the new stable, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and they beat him up. What does Cody do? He immediately just throws it to the side, made him like they were nothing. So, they have the Butcher and the Blade. I'm not a fan of them. I like the Bunny because it's Allie, and Allie is a blonde, a smoking hot, and she already has a great body with, big tits. So, I mean, her in that bunny costume with that blonde hair, Jesus Christ, she is smoking hot right now. She looks good. I thought they could have done a lot with this. They could have done, Allie beat Brandy beat Allie a few months ago in the summer, and they feuded and they had Awesome Kong beat her up. This could have been a great segment in which you have Allie trying to get revenge on Brandy, and what she does is she can't get to Kong, but she hires 2 guys to beat up her husband. That could have been a cool story. They don't want to go that direction. Instead, Cody just disregards this new stable, just goes straight to MJF. And I was like, some people hate the stable. I wanted to give him a chance, but he goes right to MJF, makes him like they're nothing, and he starts taking all his stuff out. He takes out the keys to his truck. He throws on the ground. You want this? He takes out his watch, and then he brings out he takes off his shoes. And then he brings out a briefcase and he says, "You want this? I'll give you the money." And to prove it, he gives a $1 bill to a fan, or a $100 bill actually to a fan. And I was like, oh man, I hated this segment. I don't know, I could not stand it. That's it. And he challenges MJF. I was just not a fan. They go backstage. Alex Marvez interviews Joey Janela for his main event match with Jon Moxley tonight. When we get back from commercial, we see a Dark Order video. Nyla Rose comes out, and man, that's the ultimate channel turner. She faces Leva Bates, and Leva Bates is someone who looks really hot, especially in those shorts. Jesus Christ, but she's going to get squashed. Nyla Rose absolutely murders Leva Bates. She murks her. Quick match. Nyla Rose gets the win. Just not a fan. After the match, there was something that was absolutely hilarious. This was probably one of my favorite parts of the show. So Nyla continues to beat her up. She beats up the man. What's his name? I forget. Her boyfriend or whatever. And she continues to beat her down. And she gets a table. And she slams her on the table. And this is all going through the guy through the table. This is all going through the commercial break. And what we see on the commercial break on the small screen is they show the table spot, and all of a sudden we see Dr. Britt Baker in the crowd with her hand over her lips looking shocked, just like what happened with Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver. That was fucking hilarious. That was a cool inside joke. I wish that was part of the show, but that was one of my favorite parts. I thought that was hilarious. I love that part. When we come back, they show Shauna. She's a blonde chick from Portugal, I believe. She comes out. She fights Nyla Rose. She beats her up. They go into a fight, but Nyla eventually gets the upper hand, and she hits a walking power slam, beats down poor Shauna, and we go to commercial. When we come back, we see Chris Jericho. We went to commercial. Then the table stuff happened after the commercial. I made a mistake there. When we come back, Chris Jericho's coming out with Jake Hager, and he cuts a promo. I was like, oh, I'm bored. I'm kind of tired. I'm so tired of this guy. He's already stale with me. Lexicon of La Champion. Ugh, I'm tired. He pulls out a list. He is interrupted by the Luchasaurus, and they come out with Jurassic Express, which are a cool team, but I hate Marco Stunt now. Ever since that match a few weeks ago, everyone on the internet hates him, and they had Jungle Boy Jericho rip into Marco Stunt. He had an interaction with him, then eventually Jungle Boy is called out by Jericho. Jericho says something about his father. Jungle Boy calls out Jericho, and he slaps him, and this is kind of what reminded me of John Cena, Kurt Angle, for instance, but that slap was like he touched him. He didn't even slap the fuck out of the guy. Ugh, I hated that. Anyway, they brawl, and Jericho escapes. He throws a tantrum, and then I think it's December 18th. He's facing Jungle Boy, so that's 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Jungle Boy gets his match with Jericho. The announcers run down upcoming shows, and then you have a women's match. You have Chris Statlander against Hikaru Shida. Again, no one knows who these people are. This is going to be a problem. It was an okay matchup. It was decent. They had an upset. Hikaru Shida loses to Chris, so Statlander, I guess she'll face Rio next and lose, but it was an upset. They gave it to Chris. She surprises Shida. I like Shida, but she lost here. Lights go out, and all of a sudden Brandy and Awesome Kong comes to the ring, and this was the shittiest part of the show. Like, this show's going downhill. I hated this stuff. Oh, it sucks. Oh my god, I hated this so fucking much. So they come out, and all of a sudden they are about to cut someone's hair off. All of a sudden, a member of the crowd comes in, and she pledges to them, and she offers her hair to them, and they cut her hair, and basically Awesome Kong cuts her hair, and they go to commercial, and she's still cutting her hair. They give her a big haircut. I was like, oh, I hated this. I hated this stupid thing. She's part of their stupid stable now, this dumb bitch. Ugh. So SCU comes to the ring, and it's Christopher Daniels against Pentagon Jr. Good matchup here. Pentagon with the win. This was okay. This was fine. They go to a video package with the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. They are here to cut off the steak and be the third dark faction. And I want to see more of the Bunny. I like Ali. Joey Janela comes to the ring, and it's the main event time. Here we go. Jon Moxley, Joey Janela main eventing. This was fine. This was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, they had that hardcore match, I think, at that show. What was it? The Fyter Fest show. That was pretty good. This was okay. This was a decent match. Moxley, we know, is going to win. So it was only a matter of time. He hits the paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3. Jon Moxley with the win. I guess he's just Mox now. We can call him Mox. The Mox. So Mox with the win. After the match, Jericho music's hit, and this is the exact same ending as last week. Mox is in the ring. Jericho comes down to the ring through the crowd like the Shield, and him and his team at the Inner Circle. Hager, Guevara, Ortiz, and Santana. They're in the crowd basically, and Jericho stares down at Mox, and Mox stares back. The same ending as last week, just reversed, and that was the end of AEW Dynamite. It was okay. There was some stuff that was good. It's just overall, it was okay. I think they need something. They need to change something so they can start to compete again, because I'm a bit worried that NXT is going to really start to destroy AEW. And I think it's starting to happen already, where I think the gap becomes too big, and AEW eventually looks like they might be done soon. They need to change something. Something needs to change there.